Where are we? Where do we go?
What will we share here? The Warsaw Bauhaus organizes the Institute of Articipation.
But what is the Institute of Articipation?
Is it about new models for living in a community?
What about post-artistic activities?
What about private, public, real space, placemaking?
What about symbiosis, city, village, landscape?
This is just a glimpse of the Institute of Articipation. We are near Drawsko-Pomorskie in Jankowo, at the Granary, the first building designed by Walter Gropius, and the pretext for our encounter. This is the first day of the 2025 edition. One of this year's constructions is Panka's tent. This is a part of his text about this project.
One day, I was sleeping in a house around Dam Square in Amsterdam. I was fully asleep, and then I saw a few important people come into my dream. They told me that from the next day, all the institutions in Europe will change. That is why, until now, even with all the great intentions, I cannot run the institution. So I decided to start it with a performative gesture. And I will try to find the collaborators here with whom together we will find resources and answer the whole question. I will not run this school institution until it has enough resources to invite others and make it with them.
Everything we built was meant for places of gathering and for basic needs, and everything was performative.
We've been here for almost 4 years. Our name of our collective is Warsaw Bauhaus, but as I said, we are just artist collective, and we were always trying to operate in very different spaces. Recently in Warsaw, we invited people like you, young artists, students of art, some people in academia, some urban activists, and kind of Wojtek and I were running projects under the Świętokrzyski Bridge in Warsaw, and we called it Curiosity in Exile, when one day we got a phone call that the first work of Walter Gropius is for sale. They called us because they said our name is Warsaw Bauhaus, so they called all the Bauhauses. They called Weimar Bauhaus, Dessau Bauhaus, and Warsaw Bauhaus. And it was kind of funny for us because we are not a university or a museum. So we answered the phone call and they told us about this auction and this place for sale. And the auction was happening a week later at my birthday. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to go, lose the auction and meet those big guys with the name Bauhaus. And we came here and went to the mayor's office and no one was there except us. And we had like 1 minute to decide whether we stay and bid or give up. And we decided that we'll try. This space is trying to become a place. And we should all try to make it a kind of a place that you can play. You can play in a place, but we need to also work in a place and meet each other, one another, and local in kind of real situation of problems and solving problems.
So the idea of connecting the city, the landscape, and the village countryside, this is kind of an idea that we have worked for many years before, organizing small ephemeral activities in places outside the city. So this is almost like our dream situation, but for this situation we need other dreamers.
Which herbs and weeds grow around us? How can we create a dialogue with them?
What can we learn from the patterns left in history? Which ancestral practices are worth bringing back to understand what has been and what will be?
Is it possible to rediscover hidden knowledge?
I agree with Berlante and with other philosophers that we are immersed in the environment, and the urban space where usually we live is a kind of environment that can be understood using natural metaphors.
And create loop presentations. So
What do we practice during the Institute of Articipation? An example, co-video.
Short co-video collage program, plus brainstorming discussion. Bauhaus, Black Mountain College, Woman's Building, Ray and Charles Eames, Marie and Pierre Curie, Anna and Lawrence Halprin, Francisca and Stefan Temerson, Zofia and Oscar Hansen, Bernd and Hilla Becker.
Before you read further, make a list of the senses. They are sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. There are also motor and kinesthetic senses. Invariably, people tend to forget these last two. Did you remember them? If you did, you are the exception. Most people do not. Although the kinesthetic and motor senses occupy the largest part of our brains. Dance as a Healing Art by Anna Halprin.
As in the words of Kazimierz Malevich, with the most primitive means, the artist creates something that the most ingenious and efficient technology will never be able to create.
we don't have any shelter here, as you probably noticed, except our tents and our
In 2008, Janek Turkowski discovered a cardboard box containing 64 8mm film reels in a market close to the Polish border. Each of the films included images of the same woman, Margarete. Captivated by the subject of these celluloid reels, he embarked on an artistic reconstruction of the life of a woman he didn't know.
Another day, another co-video and brainstorm session. And as Walter Gropius said, we must all turn to crafts. Art is not a profession. There is no essential difference between the artist and the craftsman. The artist is an exalted craftsman.
But proficiency in his craft is essential to every artist. Therein lies a source of creative imagination. Let us create a new guild of craftsmen, without the class distinctions which rise an arrogant barrier between craftsman and an artist. Together, let us conceive and create the new building of the future.
And your tent is this. Your tent imaginary, idealistic space that hangs and hovers over this granary, and this is what you make possible.
That's really cool. Yeah. I love it. Wow. Wow. Now when I'm filming this, I feel that we don't need to do it at night.
But the theater can also be a weapon for liberation.
We can talk about gender, we can do a lot, and then we just saw it's not gender, it's garden. So that was the misreading, it was garden.
It is necessary to create appropriate theatrical forms. Change is imperative. From the book Theatre of the Oppressed by Warsaw Bauhaus. A New Morning, co-video, Brainstorming, a film about architecture and lectures. Radka Skalski on designing extraterrestrial spaces, and Zofia Kuligowska, who initiated a series of classes about neurodiversity among artists.
Something very intensely visually and very intensely in like.
Not town hall anymore, but a chapel, and it's more about this one because I visited by myself last year.
Magdalena Franczak, Silent House, Cichy Dom. Silent House is a sculpture that creates memories. It consists of human breaths, warm and steady, filling an interior that does not exist. Its material dimension is created by people. All you need to do is gather the right group and find a spot on the map, where a house once stood but no longer does. Perhaps there are remnants or signs. A piece of foundation on which we can place our feet. A fruit tree that once provided shelter from the heat. A fragment of a plate trampled in the path. We fill the space with our presence, breathing and warming the non-existent walls. What temperature will we create? Will it be the temperature of a silent house? Our home? Or will it be a temporary shelter, different each time? Those who try to create a substitute for home on the Polish-Belarusian border sit close together, in groups. They try to fill the walls of an imaginary house, quietly.
And also a psychogeographic workshop with Janek Turkowski.
This evening, with Machine of Change, performed by Roger Power, by Wojtek Bernatowicz and Zofia Kuligowska. A performance that moved us with its energy and innovative approach to sound. A New Morning and co-video collage,
in which we connect images and thoughts to create a common message. Then the lecture part, Manifestos, Basic Needs, First Things First by Magdalena and Ludomir Franciakovi. Then the introduction.
People and plants. And it also can be very helpful because, I can make a list like...
Get real! If a museum shows only super expensive art, bought at super expensive galleries, and donated by super rich collectors, it should rename itself the Museum of Super Rich People's Art. Honor your employees. Never undermine their efforts to unionize and pay them a living wage with benefits. Guerrilla Girls Manifesto for art museums everywhere. In the second part of the day, we participated in the devised theater workshop, a method of theater work in which a play is created as a result of collective improvisation and experimentation by a group of creators without a finished script. Silt, but a river. I woke up forgetting the dream. Whatever I said last night, the morning again, sky, blue, bends walls, space, where the sun comes in, the knowledge of death, and now knowledge of the stars. There is one end, and the endless, room at the center, passage, in no time, a rail, thickets, hills, grass. 6 poems by Larry Einer, one of the artists from Black Mountain College.
Times have changed, music has changed, and I no longer object to the word experimental. And we went to the 52nd Inskie Lato Filmowe. During the festival, short films of students were presented. Experimental Film Department of Academy of Arts in Szczecin, the Academy of Fine Arts in Nuremberg, and Animush, the group from the University of Arts. And then came the last brainstorming, this time in an open space where all the participants sat together to think about the future and possibilities for the Gropius Granary.
Finally, we need to say why you are here. Every day I'll say, what is our purpose? The second edition of our International Institute of Articipation, we would like you to help us and maybe tell you who we are or kind of show how vulnerable we are. We have this baby, the granary, but we started just an art collective. Sometimes our intuition is telling us this is the next step, we do it. So we offer safety plus excitement and unpredictable things. But now the scale of our activities has changed, and with that scale shift, comes a huge responsibility and a huge opportunity. We know that.
And if you need some answers, additional answers to some questions.
In the afternoon, there was a conference to discuss these transformations, a symposium with passionate experts.
This unforgettable music performance by Granary Ensemble. It's in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8.
Wojtek, is everything okay?
Oh, so we start.
The performance is a constantly changing collection of stories that share a common perspective, sound, showing private world, bizarre collections, impossible archives. Each story has its individual tempo and is told by different means. We travel in time and space, listening to the Earth's crust, which stores the remains of our ancestors. Atlas of Sounds by Ludomir Franczak.
And on Saturday, at the South Warehouse Museum, a farewell session. It was a moment of stopping talking and exchanging thoughts that accompanied us through the project.
And the seeds for the future institutes of Articipation were planted.
What do you think death is? What you want to do, or what do you see is the most important thing to do the rest of your life? So that I see it always as matters, but I don't have any death.
Where this creative cooperative might take us.
What kind of impact will it have on our personal and collective art projects?
I want just to make a brief toast, which goes like, dear friends, gentle spirits, fierce forces, utopists. Let me mark this moment where our paths will soon separate. We have gone through a lot. We worked together, discussed things, rested, watched videos, cooked meals, swam in lakes, went for walks, drove in cars, here and there all the time in different constellations. We laughed while spinning on an emotional journey. We gave and received care. We learned about ourselves and from and about each other a lot. I can tell you, I know that somewhere there is a better world. A world that is not better because of tech improvements and all kind of deals, but because of a profound sense of belonging and understanding our interconnectedness. And I believe that in the past days, we have made some significant steps towards such a world as we trained ourselves in belonging to each other, going through the good and the bad, staying with the trouble. May the granary be a monument, both symbolic and tangible, of ours and our friends' efforts of navigating us to a better world. A world of justice, sensitivity, interconnectedness, curiosity, safety. A world where we are allowed to be idle, where there is a food to eat and a tent to dwell in, for whoever needs or wants to be there.
to share, to create the possibility to see the old parts of the present. Warsaw Bauhaus, Institute of Articipation, it's swimming them in unknown and died between art and science. Warsaw Bauhaus, Institute of Articipation, community collectivity, Articipation. Warsaw Bauhaus, Institute of Articipation, the place to share, to create the possibility to see the old parts of the present. Warsaw Bauhaus, Institute of Articipation, it's swimming them in unknown and died between art and science. Warsaw Bauhaus, Institute of Articipation, community collectivity.